Welcome back to Tuesday Night Lights number 2 of 2025. I'm bringing on the big guns for my primetime matchup on Tuesday Night Lights. Somber, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. We were just chit-chatting about the snow and how we miss it from our childhood, so we get to rekindle a little bit of that spark from our youth. Not saying that we're the unks on the desk or anything. We're still young, trust me. But yeah, we get to go have a little bit of fun after the fun on the pitch wraps up, and I think this is going to be a really great matchup. I was saying to you in the green room for a bit, I know a lot about BPC. I know what they're about. Manny, Antics, Milk, they're names I'm very familiar with. Op Bomb is the big standout to me. I've heard some big vouches for Morvo over on Michigan State, but I haven't been able to see them play as a squad. So I'm very interested to see this Southeast versus Northeast matchup here tonight.
Well, real quick, while we are talking about rekindling our childhood, put the snowman pic back up on screen. Very proud of my work today in the snow. The couple inches we got in Auburn, Alabama, which is a miracle in its own right. But back to business. No, stop looking at my piddly little snowman, because we got Michigan State and Brewton-Parker taking each other on. This is a big series, I think, for Michigan State to prove themselves as a top 30-ish team. I think if they are able to beat Brewton-Parker, that's what they can kind of position themselves as going into the spring semester. But Brewton-Parker is playing without Manny tonight, so Cass is the sub in, playing as Calm Turtle 131. That's what you'll see on the field, but Cass is their name. So Somber substitute for Brewton-Parker, maybe a chance for Michigan State here.
Yeah, definitely. I think that Antics and Milk over on Brewton-Parker are still going to be a tough enough squad where it's not going to be too big of an asterisk next to this. I know BPC in this spring open qual 1 for CRL, they did have a top 16 finish. Michigan State fell just short, placing 17th. They were literally one spot outside of making that top 16. So I think that it's still going to be very close despite a sub. But it's definitely going to be an interesting one to see, how they are playing together and how they feel. Obviously, you do have the yellow tag for Calm Turtle 131, aka Cass. So it's not going to be an easy one nonetheless.
New pickup apparently, though, so I'm wondering how much time they've got with Antics and Milk. Although I talked about it in my preview video that this is a very deep Rocket League program that Coach Stanley at BPC has built up. So when they say they've got a substitute, you don't typically treat that fact as any other team say that they're playing with a substitute. But Michigan State are trying to take advantage of that early on. It was a good-looking opportunity from Opball, who connected with the demo, but it's not enough to prevent BPC from making the save, although the Spartans will keep their offensive going.
Right now, just playing a little bit of, touchy-feely, feel out each other, what they can get away with, and see if they can get any early cheeky goals here early in the game. Got Cass trying to launch something central for Milk. It was up early enough, but it's going to be Morvo now, no boost. Trying to bait a 50 out of Antics. Antics not falling for those antics out there at the midfield by Michigan State. Milk keeping the push alive with a touch to the sidewall. Antics back to the mid. Has Milk down below, but cannot make the touch to keep that offensive drive going. But a good 50 comes out from Cass to keep this ball over in the orange half.
Bomb solo play, typically a dangerous prospect, and he is the space creator at times for this team in offense. It's not a hard carry by any stretch. We've seen some collegiate teams where that is the case. They've got one mechanical hard carry, but what makes Michigan State so good is how these three play around each other, how they slowly generate space and find that moment to strike. But right now, it's BPC's turn. It's Calm Turtle 131 up ahead, finding a demo, and that demo from Cass isn't enough to immediately net a goal for the Barons, but have found possession.
Talk about Op Bomb not being the hard carry, but being an offensive initiator. Might get the offense initiated here as a bump. And a little bit of a mistouch there going to lead to an opening goal for BPC.
Oh, clean. Milk again finding bumps on the goal line. There was a moment, like about a minute or so ago, where Milk was downfield and just bumping everybody left and right, and it didn't turn into an immediate goal. But Milk has shown that's his game plan tonight. Move downfield, get aggressive with the head hunting, and see what kind of space he can generate for Cass and Antics to operate in offense. But now it's Michigan State's turn. See if they can find an answer.
Indeed, it's going to need to be a big response goal as you're starting to tick down through the latter part of this first half, and you haven't had too many looks. The ones that you have weren't as threatening as you would like them to be either, but a 1-0 scoreline is not going to be too tough of a thing to come back from. Right now, you're trying to find something here. Might be a breakaway for Oppa. The double tap off target, and Antics with a big boom and clear might turn into a counter downfield. Cass has Antics waiting in the wings, opts for the ground pinch instead. Antics no good on the dunk on the goal line, but again, BPC, they are quick to it. They have had multiple stints now where they've had to play a little bit of backline defense, not sweating it too much, and launch the counter immediately downfield and put Michigan State on their heels.
It's a bump. Morvu's returning the favor. Bumping Milk there at the midfield line. So Michigan State stay on the offensive end for a moment. And I see Slayer in chat asking who Calm Turtle is. That's a new pickup for Brewton-Parker named Cass, who I've not heard of before. Antics filled me in the pregame lobby as to who Cass is. So a step up here as Manny is unavailable. And so far, I mean, so good. It's 1-0 Brewton-Parker. Michigan State have been largely ineffective offensively, and Knock let that ball get mighty close to giving BPC another.
Yeah, fourth emitter coming out, but it ends up working in their favor as this is going to be a team pinch, and Opbomb with the credit for the goal there. It's a great, oh, actually, no, it was a pinch with Milk. Oh my goodness, I saw the assist coming over from Morvo, and I was like, that's a fantastic play, and the wherewithal to go for that, but it's just Opbomb bodying on a great 50 there, getting them on the board first. We now got a tie ball game with just about 90 ticks left to go. This is where things get interesting.
Certainly does. Michigan State found a bit of energy in offense, but Opbomb will lose it on that 100 in the corner, and Knock's been beaten, so Morvo has a lot of work to do now, and does a lot of it there in the Brewton-Parker corner successfully, though Knock low on boost has to let this ball bounce and waits to put a lot of heat behind it, and even then, this is not an easy out for Michigan State, though. Patient play pans out. Morvu goes under Milk. Cass is being tested and doesn't pass, so Milk has to help him cheat a little bit on their exam, so that's why you got teammates. Brewton-Parker survived that battle defense.
It is a team sport after all. Got to utilize your teammates when you have them there, and you know, BBC, I really like how they do have a fully loaded tool belt at their disposal. They can go for these team plays, they can go for the aggression, which is what we've been seeing so far throughout this first game, is just aggression from Milk. They're putting their nose down and trying to headhunt and get these very, very quick plays out on the back line, but they do have that ability to rely on each other as teammates and get all members involved on both sides of the pitch. Makes them a very versatile and tough team to go up against. And out in the Southeast, a lot of those teams like to play that way, but I feel like this team just finds a way to excel and find that next gear as this one goes around the for the follow through by Cass, and the sub is going to get the job done in the wavering moments of game number one.
Hey, that's how you get your substitute involved right there. Give them a late game-winning goal. Now there are still 6 seconds left for Brewton-Parker to secure this game win, but we'll see what Michigan State can do in those final 5 to break down a BPC that is prepared to make sure they get out of this alive. And Opbomb has just missed, but that might be enough chaos to help Michigan State out. Opbomb keeps the ball center, but Brewton-Parker had that covered all the way. So a late game winner from Cass is what nets them game one.
That's what you love to see. Like you said, getting the sub involved, you give them the moment to shine. They step up in the spotlight. They seal the deal for BPC to net themselves one game in the series. I will say, again, can't emphasize enough the aggression that they came out with. And to be able to still play that style of Rocket League with a substitute in speaks volumes to how deep this roster is and how confident they are together. A demo total of 8-3 in favor of BPC is just insane to open things up for a game one.
And you saw that was their strategy from the get-go, with largely Milk running ahead, but everyone kind of getting involved in the headhunting action there on the Michigan State side. But 8-3, that does feel appropriate for what we saw on the field. So credit to BPC for having a strategy that worked, but Michigan State at the end there, they were putting together extended possession plays against the Barons, and that's really what got them back in game one after starting off on the back foot. So for the Spartans, I know they're still getting into the swing of things here in the spring season of CRL, but they look good against the Brewton-Parker. Yes, with a sub, but they're still Brewton-Parker.
Yeah, at the end of the day, game one, it's early spring, it's early series. You're not maybe, fully warmed up. The hands might still be a little bit cold with this cold spell that's running throughout the U.S. So now you're able to keep it close enough in game number one. See if game number two is going to be that much closer.
And I noticed as well that Cass has a Worlds Elite title from CRL Worlds 2023. So now Coach Stanley's in chat. I would love to know where Cass has been previous to this Brewton-Parker stint, because that is quite the title to be in ownership of. But 30 seconds in, Brewton-Parker have a chance now, and it's Cass setting up Milk going off the back wall. I know he's capable of getting that ball down center, but no contact made right there. It's just how hard a read that is if Milk can't do it. And now he has to make a stop against Morvu, who sets up Knock for a chance on target. No, up bomb a chance on target, and that is stopped by Brewton-Parker.
BBC having to pull out 3 early 50s on the defensive side, gets it done. And now trying to get it away from their own box, but it's Op-Bomb continuing the charge, slicing and dicing the defense, dropping a nuke in the back of the net. Op-Bomb in the opening minute gets Michigan State on the board.
It's clean. That's Op-Bomb doing Op-Bomb things. He just collects the ball and then beats the rest of the defense. And that's the difference that he can make for this team. I know I said this isn't the Op-Bomb show because it's not, but he seems good for 1 or 2 of those types of goals in a series. And those are advantages that you will take. Just 1 or 2 goals given to you just because you have a star on your roster.
Absolutely. You're always going to take that slight advantage. And when those types of plays do happen early in series and players start to maybe not panic, but at least get the idea in their head that, hey, this person's a threat, we got to neutralize them, as a shot again from Op-Bomb, almost a nasty angle from Knock. But yeah, plays like this, you're going to have to start to respect Op-Bomb, so you leave paths for Knock to get setups like this, and you start to open up that playbook. It can get real dangerous real quick for the opposition.
That was clean, though, from Knock. Oh, man. Probably could have hit that. Cass was ready to make the save, and so putting it high was the right decision, obviously, because Michigan State netted a goal off of it, but Knock almost hit that. And that means Michigan State is starting to fire at the capacity we know they're capable of firing at. Though Antics is upfield, causing havoc on the Spartans side. Though he has to retreat now. The first man on the scene is Knock. Collected, flicked, and tested Milk off the backboard, but he only makes the initial save. Cass has to make the follow-up one, and that is enough for BPC to prevent Michigan State from scoring a third and maybe put in their first, though Antics is denied by Op-Bomb.
Antics just a little bit too low on the boost to beat out Op-Bomb on that foot race, and now it turns into a shot from Knock, trying to drop it in the breadbasket there, but back wall defense saves that one away. It's going to be Cass. A little bit awkward, but able to half flip and now maintain possession through the midfield stripe, and a good 50 against Op-Bomb. Going to keep this one lingering in the corner, but it's going to be Morvo looking downfield to Op-Bomb. Op-Bomb, nice redirect down, but no teammate immediate to follow. It's going to be BPC to recollect and regain here for a moment. Milk off the ceiling, no boost, leaves it to Antics. Antics over the top of the defense, lining up the double, can't find it. Milk down below, denied by Op-Bomb. Demo on the back line, and a wayward clear might lead to a little bit of defensive repositioning here by BPC. Demo at the mid to take out that second man. Knock does not go. Op-Bomb 50 low, no good. Milk taking away that possession there and starved from the boost. Michigan State, they are absolutely on fire, trying to maintain possession here and some pressure. Finally, it breaks through and BPC get a break.
And they're not overstretching as well. They're just controlling possession by positioning well. And it's not costing them anything in transition defense. In fact, when they do retreat, it feels like they've got 2 members back to stop Brewton-Parker, but some things are just unstoppable. And Antics right there, exactly such a thing.
It's the season car buff. You just read that 50 perfectly to catch it on that front fender, dribble it on in. They get their first on the board, and looking at this BPC squad, even with a sub, you can put that asterisk there all night, but I would expect them to get their first goal a lot sooner than this. So credit to Michigan State's defense being able to suppress the offensive weapon that is BPC. But now they only have 90 seconds left to regain here and get that second goal on the board. It might start with Milk. Instead, it's going to be Cass coming around that corner, possibly looking for a solo play, possibly looking for Milk. They keep it a bit center, but ends up rolling and having a little bit of Spanish or English on that one to get it back into the corner. Knock a bit awkward. Cass gonna figure that one out. Milk again, 50 out at the midfield, and it's Michigan State winning out these 50s and keeping the ball out of their own half, or at least at the midfield stripe that is keeping them in the lead, honestly, right now.
Oh, it's so good from Morvu. That challenge, rotating back into the play. I mean, Knox technically next up in rotation, but Morvu goes for that because Opbama just wasted all his boots going for a sideball read that was not there. And Knox was awkward on the goal line. But speaking of, again, awkward on the goal line, this time forced by Brewton-Parker getting aggressive there. But Cass has the ball poked over their head a little bit, but right back on target. My word, Cass had to react quickly and does so well. Low on boost, beats the first of Michigan State. Milk is next up, doubling, oh, just slightly off target. Would have been a highlight reel play and a half, but Milk is just off.
Yeah, couldn't quite find the angle on that protractor shot coming out of the corner, but a pinch mid read by Opbomb on the pre-flip 50. You got maybe one or two more good looks here for BPC, but if Opbomb has anything to say about it, they're going to play this one with time and possession. Antics able to take away the ball finally. Milk tried to go for the fake, but Knock did not bite. Triple zeros on the clock. Michigan State respond with a big Game 2 win.
That was big because they had to prove it offensively. We saw the hot start where they proved it offensively, obviously, but also defensively because Brewton-Parker, I don't think anybody expected them to roll over after going down by a couple of goals early on in Game 2. Brewton-Parker recovered and were throwing all kinds of different looks at Michigan State's defense. And occasionally it got hairy on the Spartans' goal line, but they did well. They read the play nicely. They cut when they had to. They didn't overextend trying to look for more goals to really put the game out of reach. They trusted their defense, knew a 2-goal lead was enough, and proved that at the end of Game 2. So now we're really going here, and Brewton-Parker, it's their turn to recover in Game 3.
Yeah, you talk about the offense and the defense stepping up in a big way for Michigan State, about equal in both shots and saves for both sides, but I think the quality of save after from Michigan State, you're able to get the save and then start to turn that into looks downfield, being able to play that transition offense. That's what we saw as a big difference maker from Game 1 to Game 2. Also cutting down on the demos. You earned a little bit of that respect back from BPC, where they're not going to be having a man downfield, chasing demos, sweeping through your back line. You're going to make them play a little bit more reserved and keep them on their toes. I think if you can keep that type of consistency up on the offensive side and deal with the pressure and the demos and aggression that way, it's going to be a very long night for BPC.
Very long night, trying to figure things out with a substitute, although shout out Coach Stanley for dropping the Cass's Wikipedia page. I was peeping it to figure out where that title came from. And in 2023 Worlds, Cass is a Dutch player, played for Amsterdam Carball. That was where Cass was at just about 2 years ago now. So made a top 8 run at that World Championship and fell short to a Fisher College that was at full strength there in quarterfinals. But this substitute is not a just fourth man substitute where it's just anybody, any player from the B team stepping up. This is an actual top 8 CRL Worlds player that's slotting in for Brewton-Parker. So you can see why they're operating still at a high level here, Somber.
Yeah, that's actually very interesting. I didn't recognize the name at first, but now that you bring up Amsterdam, I remember that was a club team coming over from Uni Rocketeers that made it through, and they had a great story going into that. And a little personal fact, you get a little bit of somber personal time here on the MrBepic broadcast. CRL Worlds 2023 was actually my first ever Rocket League LAN, as Morvu gonna drop that one in. That's what inspired me to start casting, so a little bit of a full circle moment here. So yeah, big time shout out to CRL Worlds 2023. I hope that CRL LANs make a comeback eventually.
That's awesome. I love that kind of full circle moment. Shout out Calm Turtle 131. Welcome to Tuesday Night Lights. Giving us a couple of great stories, but Michigan State are kind of playing the villains to the story of Cass's substitute series. As look at that, flying to try and make that save, but nowhere close. Michigan State is on a rampage right now.
Yeah, the offense getting rolling early, and you're making them pay with those slight cheats. It's not enough to be just a flagrant misplay of pushing up too far too quickly. You're just trying to sneak your way up towards the midfield and play that kind of aggressive third man role, and then they just bang it right past you on the opposite side of the pitch. It's very tough to, oh my goodness, very tough to regain with that, as that one rattles around the woodwork, and a little bit of the fourth defender coming out and playing hero ball for BPC, as we've seen a couple now go that way. It's going to be Morva with a shot, Antics with a save, and it's going to be now Knock trying to keep this one alive, but BPC get a look downfield, maybe relieve a little bit of this tension that was building in the blue half, but right back we go.
This is a big chance for Brewton-Parker. They have been largely hemmed in to their defensive side this game, which it's trending in the wrong direction for the Barons. I said this was a recovery game for them, but now they're down by 2 goals in the first half of play, and that really had to fight for just the half chances in their offensive zone. Michigan State have gotten so creative when it comes to clearing the ball, and Opbomb is chain dashing down the sideline to connect with a demo on Antics' car and keep Brewton-Parker playing defense.
The chain dash into a demo and then also grab your boost.
Evil.
It's just diabolical. It's a diabolical play. That's some Austin Powers evil villain type of scheming right there. But you got to do what you got to do to get the wins against teams of this caliber, against teams like BPC. And I feel like we talk about them and hold them in such high regards. They came in second at the DreamHack Atlanta Collegiate Invitational that TJ put together over there in Georgia. They won SEL. They're such a high caliber team, so we talk about them and put them on this pedestal. But again, if you look at CRL, these teams are much closer than you would expect. And Michigan State is showing that, you know, maybe Manny is that difference maker for this BPC team, and they're showing that they might be on that same level, that same caliber of roster here, as they've been able to combat BPC's game plan after that game 1 loss almost flawlessly.
And I don't even know if I would say that Cass subbing in for Manny has made the difference for Brewton-Parker, because they're playing a good game. They're putting good chances in the vicinity of Michigan State's net, but the Spartans are playing some of the best Rocket League I've seen them play. Just their field awareness is so on point at the moment that against a team like Brewton-Parker, they are putting together defensive stands like I really haven't seen them put together against a team of this caliber. So credit to Michigan State completely for the first 3 games, but Brewton-Parker, they can find their way out of this, and comebacks may be a bit easier when you're playing with your typical 3 starters, but this is still a capable roster, and Cass is scoring a goal to cut this Michigan State lead in half, so we're not done with Game 3 just yet.
Antics with a huge challenge there. I love going high on that and forcing it to the ceiling and just trusting that your teammate is going to be in the area, able to make a meaningful read. And I think that's the most meaningful one that you can get, is a goal in the back of the net. 1 goal deficit now for BPC, less than a minute to go. Might be more offense, though, to try to drain time and probably get themselves back up into a safety net blanket lead here in the final seconds of game number 3. But comeback is still well and alive here for BPC.
Oh, and Knock just dodged a vicious-looking cast demo attempt on the Michigan State goal line and turns it into a shot on frame, but Antics can now clear this zone, but not a great bounce, although he makes the most of it. Nice backflip flick there, and pinch center. If there wasn't the third man rotating back post there for Michigan State, I think that's a goal, but they find it clear. You talked about it. They're finding saves and clearing the zone almost immediately after. It's quality defense from Michigan State, but BPC against the ropes in Game 3 have a chance now. They'll have to take this ball away from Morvu's cold dead hands, which they cannot, and Game 3 goes the way of the Spartans.
Michigan State now on a roll. That's back-to-back games. They've been able to finish it out in the close series as well. So, I mean, congrats to them for now putting up 2 straight and having this momentum. It's absolutely massive in a very pivotal Game 4 that you're heading into. you have the chance to go up 3-1, and if you drop here, you still have plenty of Rocket League left to play. But putting this Brewton-Parker team kind of on notice and making this now your game to lose for the next one. You have all the momentum. You've just won 2 straight. It's going to be a very interesting thing to see in game 4 how BPC responds if they can.
And you can tell that this is a matchup at a high level between 2 teams that are very good at adjusting, because every single game has shown 2 rosters that are extremely composed and ended in a 2-1 result. It was 2-1 Brewton-Parker in game 1, and then 2-1, 2-1 Michigan State, notched 4 goals in their last 2 games. So this is such a high-level series between 2 teams that understand the importance of these reps specifically at the start of their spring 2025 campaign. So we'll see if Brewton-Parker can notch themselves a game win in game 4 as Cass scores first off of the nose of Opbomb.
Yeah, I get the decision. It's that post, that slight little lip on the post. You popped it. You got a little bit of an angle on it instead of catching it and clearing it across your net. I think even at the highest level, catching and clearing across your net is usually not a great choice, but I get why you're going for it. You're trying to play with space. You're trying to play with possession. That time did not work out. You find yourself in an early deficit, but at least on the bright side, it's an early deficit.
Yeah, I mean, Opbomb had space there. He just completely biffed the touch. But that's all right. I think Opbomb is more than capable of flexing in solo play moments to make up for that goal conceded in the first get-go of game 4. But Brewton-Parker taking it and running with it. And Milk is running straight into Michigan State defenders, forcing Morvu into an awkward spot. Cass next up will test Nock's near side defense, and Nock is up to the task. Flip reset play completely clears the zone, and that is perfect defense for Michigan State.
Yeah, Michigan State doing well, and again, turning it into offense down the pitch, trying to play in the corner here and get something towards the center of the net. I did see Opbomb, and I believe it was Nock over on that right side stacked up, and I think that right now they're just trying to really dominate the midfield and try to find pressure plays outside of, you know, these little dink and dunk plays downfield on the fast break, and really trying to set up an offensive game plan and switch things up here in game 3. You know, it can work to almost your benefit, changing up the game plan here, and being down by 1, I wouldn't be upset if you're, you know, trying to change things up and play more possession and pressure oriented. But it is an interesting change up that we're not seeing as many solo plays turned into passes to a teammate downfield, and seeing more plays at the midfield, and, you know, keeping that third man back a little bit as a shot goes to the backboard, Milk to clear out. But again, it's players just staying up, staying tight in their offensive rotations, and finding a home here on the blue side of the pitch.
Getting those solo plays going, though, is something that Michigan State hasn't afforded themselves yet, because Brewton-Parker are playing an extremely, or just a better possession game, I think. Nothing extreme just yet, but they're in the face of Michigan State, and so those solo plays, kind of like that, haven't been allowed for the most part. Michigan State can start to develop chances like that, and now, well, maybe what Morva would have done if he landed with 4 wheels on the sidewall, but because there's a bit more possession control from Michigan State, they can start going for those solo efforts. But at the moment, Brewton-Parker still maintain control, though it is slipping. Michigan State are slowly gaining more offensive agency.
Of course, as the game goes on, if they find those opportunities to, you know, reverse field, they're going to find it. And a team like BPC can very easily turn it from, hey, you've spent the last 90 seconds to 2 minutes in our half, you know, trying to get passing plays going, and now we're going to just reverse the script and we're going to play time in your half. Yep. As we see a passing play there and a slow shot from Milk, no defense back. I believe it was Nock and Opbomb both in that corner. Excuse me, it was Opbomb and Nock. Morvo went for the challenge early, and defensive backline nowhere to be found. It's now a 2-goal net here for BPC in a very, very big pivotal game 4.
Yeah, unfortunately for Morvu, that miss is the critical moment in the midst of that play. And now Nock is in a tough spot, and Antics is going to get to that ball pretty quickly. He high points it and puts Brewton-Parker up 3-0.
The floodgates open. It's hard to get them to stop. Granted, it's off the kickoff, but I think BPC is starting to find their rhythm, starting to find their groove again. And if they can continue this hot streak and really put an exclamation point on this game against Michigan State. They'll do wonders for them heading down the stretch in the series. Zopon gets deleted out of the air by Milk. Antics out of the corner, able to get it past one. Has Op Bomb to worry about on that back line. Knocked down below to gather some possession, take it back up the sidewall. Morvo, they end up pinching each other instead of the ball. Op Bomb on the solo play, trying to take it past the whole defense. Could not find the shot. The save off the backboard by Milk can be good to go. Antics out of the corner, playing this one a bit slow. Another 50 against Knock. Knock trying to get this one back to the mid. Just grabbing boost, playing that one back down to the ground. Op Bomb keeping it alive here in the blue half. Cass keeps it alive for a moment, but a save backline by Antics. Gonna deny what looked like almost a sure thing by BPC.
They haven't been tested, Brewton-Parker haven't, on their goal line as much this game until now, but their goal line defense, well, that kind of ruins my point, was doing a phenomenal job when they were tested. But, okay, Cass got bumped into that, I think, which is why that ball was just lofting perfectly for Op Bomb. So, Michigan State, I don't think they take anything away from Brewton-Parker's goal line quality with that play, but they forced BPC to make mistakes right there.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to get your opposition in a awkward position here, as it's now 2 straight, and Michigan State look like they want the comeback. They want to force the OT possibly. And is a great shot by Morvo to get things started. 43 seconds, a kickoff and a dream here for Michigan State. Brewton-Parker might be put on their heels after back-to-back goals going in. There's going to be Cass now trying to put one central. They're able to grab the boost and start out Morvo. Maybe delay this push just a bit. They play that one slow off the sidewall. Has Antics on the back wall, still with possession. Cass down below, able to win out that 50. And as time starts to tick down, and with BPC in possession, they might be able to get one more to go. But a counter trying to get started here by Michigan State. It's going to be another 50 by Antics. Knocked up early. Op Bomb out of the corner. Back mid has Morvo. This is probably your last chance here if you're Michigan State to make something of this game. Morvo, no boost and awkward. Just going to turn off of it. And a force 50 going to tick down precious seconds, and Antics just clears it to the opposition's back wall. Milk up early, probably just looking to spike this one down, finds the corner, and BPC take game 4 to tie up the series.
There you go. There's the response we were waiting for. And it's not a you win one game, I win one game. It's just Brewton-Parker finding a way to get back eventually into this series. And that's the benefit of winning game 1, is now we're tied up. After Michigan State got their 2 in a row, Brewton-Parker can have their go at it. But, Somber, at the end of that game, Michigan State started gaining steam again. They found a way to wrestle control of the field back from the Barons, and that's when they started staging their comeback. And even within the waning moments of Game 4, they were looking a little threatening when it came to finding a late equalizer. So, Brewton-Parker, they have to start, I think, Game 5 the same way they did Game 4 and keep Michigan State on that back foot.
Absolutely. I think BPC definitely found their groove back a little bit, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Like you said, their defensive back line looks so good. It was really just when Michigan State was able to force errors out and had someone in the vicinity to punish on those little mistakes. But for the most part, overall, 90% of that game, that back line was stone wall. It was nothing going in. It looked immaculate. So you found your groove back on the defensive side. The scoring started to come back. The ball was firing to the back of the net more consistently. It's now up to you to find that consistency and hope that Michigan State, finding those 2 late goals, that wasn't enough to get them a little bit more momentum heading into this Game 5, and you can now take your 2 straight wins.
All right, away we go into Game 5. Big swing game for either side here. And Michigan State, I want to see if they keep up the same level of aggression, which isn't outright just guns a-blazing aggression in offense they concluded Game 4 with, but it is still in-your-face aggression, nabbing boosts, fighting for every 50-50 against these BPC players. And right here, it's more of a moving up with Knock and Op Bomb, rotating out, turning around, and he might be able to keep control here if he challenges the Antics well, but does back off, and that gives BPC a chance to clear the zone.
I think aggressive, like you said, it's not quite the in-your-face aggression. I think it's more the gritty plays. It's doing the dirty work. You're going through, you're getting the tough 50s, you're getting the outplays in the corner, like Morvo there, able to sneak that one past the defense and find the angle, get them right back to where they started, scoring the ball.
That is crisp. I mean, Morvu had the slimmest of windows to get that shot off before he was challenged with the third man of Brewton-Parker. Wasn't in a terrible position with Morvu coming off the sidewall like that. I mean, if a 50's taken, it's going Brewton-Parker's way, but Morvu, wonderful speed in transition. And that is, I guess, the Morvu gap right there. Good for that kind of goal against BPC in the early moments of Game 5.
Yeah, this is definitely something to get the Bensel right back on track. Like I said, you got those 2 late goals. It's a little bit of momentum, and you can kind of take some grace in that loss and say, you know, it was still at the end of the day a 1-goal loss, but let's go ahead and regain immediately. And they did just that. They were able to get right back on the board, and through a very flashy goal at that, is Morvo looking to get another one on the board, maybe courtesy of a teammate in the wings. Opbomb bumped off of that, or it went on the pre-jump go, but bumped off of the recovery, could not find that. Now find themselves back in their own corner with plenty of boost to work with, but a big beat comes out by Cass. Morvo has to make a defensive stand there and does so well, but it's still pressure from BPC starting to loom here as the midfield going to be left empty for a moment. Morvo going to take control here in the corner, pass back out mid. It's going to drop down in front of the net. Opbomb shoots, and it's going to be saved by Antics, as again, it looked like a sure thing, but BPC, that back line standing tall.
Oh, and Cass will outduel Morvo there on the sideline. Now, looking to get the ball across, but Michigan State will not be outdone consecutively defensively. Milk, contested by Opbomb, going crossbar down, and there was no one there to shoot. As a traded demo will leave Brewton-Parker some space to clear out, get a big win, an open net, and the Cass goal. We're tied up once more.
Interesting to see a kind of empty net full send knock jumps early and no man back to rotate through. It still was just a beautiful 2-man play downfield. I think if there was a defender, probably would have been an earlier go from Cass, but they decided to just go a bit late, make sure they get that nice, easy, secure on the tap in. They are able to equalize in a very easy seeming way, but it's going to now force Michigan State to, you know, lock back in. Maybe they took their foot off the gas a touch and said, you know, it's 2 men, you got a ceiling touch. It's not going to be too threatening, but it's like, yeah, it's still at the end of the day, BPC, we got to make those plays, make sure that BPC doesn't have those types of looks.
Not pivoting, but Antics is there. Parker is playing good layered defense right now and finding each other. Once they do make those cuts, it's just always aware, really for both sides. The passing games have been on point, but shooting game from Opbomb could use a little work after that one. I'm sure he wants that one back, but regardless, tough ball to put with pace on target as Cass sets up Milk for a shot I know he wants back. Oh, that could have been BPC out front.
Put a bit too much loft on that shot and found the backboard instead of the upper 90. That may be one that we look back at as a crucial miss here for BPC, but about 1:40 left on the clock. Huge fake comes out from Cass and an early go. Turns it into a 1v1. If they get a teammate downfield, could be danger, but a good 50 out from Morvo. Gonna get that one back into the hands of Knock. Downfield, back to Morvo. Fakes the redirect, but Milk not faked out quite enough and able to come across that goal line, make the save. Keep the ball lingering here in the blue half, but no boost from Milk means Opbomb might have a double set up here. Morvo on the cleanup attempt, goes top corner, finds the back of the net, and beautiful pass and beautiful shot coming out from Michigan State.
Shots. Like Morvu gets almost underneath that ball and still gets around it enough to place it. Not just like glance off the near post type of on target, but very much comfortably in Brewton-Parker's net. That's a gorgeous shot. Morvu is having a series right now, and Brewton-Parker have to find a way to stop him as Opbomb has the spotlight taken off him at the forefront of Michigan State's lineup, and Morvu is taking the limelight for a moment, but Cass can steal it back. Puts up Milk for a dunk on target. Off the post, and it stays out. Close, but no cigar for the Barons.
Milk still looking for bumps on that back line, trying to get a little bit of revenge for that shot not going in the first time, but still cannot find a follow-through. Opbomb looking for a second touch out of the corner there. And yeah, this has definitely been the Morvo legacy game. They heard us talking, oh, that's a great shot, a great save coming through by Michigan State. They heard us talking about Opbomb being that offensive initiator. This is game 5, pivotal game, pivotal moment. I'm gonna step up. I'm gonna step up in the spotlight here for Tuesday Night Lights and have one heck of a game as they could continue to have one more here. Cass backward and awkward, able to make that save on the back line, knock to catch and put it in their corner. It's now Antics off the sidewall as time ticks down here again in game number 5. 1 goal deficit. You have another look here with Cass and a shot on target. Save comes through. Hot bomb clear to Morvo. Morvo to the midfield only as far as Antics. Needs someone to follow quickly for BPC. It's a pass over to Milk. Read well by the defense. Morvo still floating and able to get it past a BPC striker. And Michigan State takes game number 5.
And we are back to the 2-1 victories for Michigan State. That is their 3rd consecutive 2-1 win. They didn't win the games consecutively, but all the games won are 2-1. Funny enough, I don't know. That's the first time, though, that Brewton-Parker has outshot Michigan State. So like we kind of figured coming into a series like this, it's not a static game plan for either side. That time Brewton-Parker strayed away a little bit from the send a player up ahead looking for bumps strategy, and even the last game as well. I don't recall them netting as many demos and bumps in game 4, but right there they lost a bit of ground, I think, thanks to sitting back a bit, but did limit Michigan State's opportunities. Morvu just stepped up big time that set.
Yeah, absolutely. Morvo had a great game, and like you said, the demos have not been there since game 1. It's either been equal, and I think in game 3 it was actually a 3-2 in advantage of Michigan State. So again, I think that it's really just, you got to read on this Michigan State squad. You figure that you can't send that one person downfield and headhunting all the time, so you're not going to have as many opportunities, and Michigan State has kind of earned that respect of, hey, you're not going to play bully ball. You're going to have to come to us and show us that you can beat us on the pitch in a regular 3v3, not taking one of our players off the field. And in those, it's been very tight contest, but showing that Michigan State has outlasted that battle.
It's 30 seconds in. I apologize for you all missing the first 10 seconds of gameplay here. Didn't miss much. That, though, is the first big play of the game. Antics stopped a crafty up-bomb shot on target. But Cass can't clear the zone for Brewton-Parker. Moravu, center ball to up-bomb right at Milk. And the Barons survive their first real test this game.
Now look to get on offense here as it's going to be Antics. Drop down pass off the ceiling, going to be read by up-bomb off that back wall, and they look for one more. A big 50 win against Cass. No boost, but a pass over to Morvo. Morvo tries to hit that little head fake there, get Antics to bite. Bump from Op-Bomb. Could have opened things up, but the double commit on that sidewall going to force everyone to kind of float back to that midfield stripe and reset for just a bit. Milk now at the mid. A little bit of a soft touch met by Knock. Morvo comes crashing in, and a big 50 again. Op-Bomb down below. Wins out that one to keep it on the blue half. Milk from behind. Forces Op-Bomb to go early. Cass back down to Milk. Knock right there to intercept the passing lane. Morvo already up, and they snipe the bottom corner. Morvo continuing the hot streak for Michigan State.
Just keep it going, Morvo. That's a great 50 win by Knock. Was able to get on the high side of that challenge, and it resulted in a favorable bounce for the Spartans, who will start off the scoring again. I don't know what the first blood statistics are in this best of 7 exactly, but Michigan State have scored first in a lot of the games in this best of 7, but Brewton-Parker have often answered back after conceding, and this time it's almost instantly.
Yeah, it looks like Michigan State wanted to go for that EU kickoff. You send the first 2 out and have someone just slightly behind to try to follow through and force that 50 in your favor, but close but no cigar. It's going to be a goal in the back of your net. Might be another one here as Antics able to have a little heat check shot there. Milk again able to launch that one over to the opposite corner. A little bit too far for Antics to make that stretch. It's not going to be Knox playing this one back down to the ground. Going to be another bump on Cass. Antics to take over in the corner with a full tank of boost to the skies. Op-Bomb down below goes early. Able to get a little bit of a chip on that one, and a redirect out of the corner off the recovery. Calculated, if anything. Antics now able to carry across their own goal line in the skies. Op-Bomb down below. Going to be off the backboard, but read early by Milk. Now able to make contact with it though. Morvo back over to Knock. Wanted to look back down to the midfield for Op-Bomb. Going to be a delayed play here by Michigan State. Antics ceiling challenge does not go anywhere. This is going to be Michigan State still trying to set up camp here in the blue half.
Still, the plays that we're seeing on the field here, it just tells you what kind of set is being put on by these two teams. So much talent compressed into 6 players, and both sides are having to get really creative with their playmaking to score here. Morvu, if he gets that double, someone's going to have to call the fire department, send her to Morvu's house, because the dude just failed a heat check, but that was a heat check. 2 minutes left, though. Brewton-Parker find one big stop and try to flip the field. Cass is running ahead, looking for pressure there on the Michigan State goal line. It doesn't pan out, but it still is a decent look now for Brewton-Parker.
Cass with a big 50 out mid, but Antics over on that opposite side of the pitch, not able to come back quick enough to make a play offensively, but may be able to grab some boost and quickly turn on this. Hop bomb misses on the pre-jump, but knocked right there after Cass thought they were going to have to play that 50-50 and were a little bit slow to the play. Milk with a big 50 at the midfield, bumps their teammate in Morvo, but might be a benefit as they get 2 touches off the ceiling, but just all they're able to do is slow the momentum and keep this one on the blue half. Back pass to Knock as looks like Op Bomb just kind of mistakenly hit the ball and rotate back, but it turns into something here as Knock able to pinch that one. Morvo solo play taken away by Antics, but it turned into a misplay almost into greatness, as we've seen a couple times here between these two teams happen tonight.
Like I said, that's just the kind of plays we're getting tonight between Michigan State and Brewton-Parker, but no goals scored despite that entire chaotic sequence out in front of the BPC net. And we'll try to find their go-ahead goal here. Zopbom lets that ball go right at Antics, who've got plenty of boost to gain some space for his Barons. Flip reset in hand, looks to go to the ground, beat another player. Cass next up, but it's just smoke and mirrors. Milk is the third man. The next player onto the scene. Decent 50 out to Antics to shoot. No, to set himself up for a double tap, which won't connect thanks to Morvu's brilliance and defense.
Low boost for the people up for BPC right now. Antics tries to come rushing in and make a play on that one. Not able to read the bounce off the ceiling. Milk will finally grab some resources and recollect here on the offensive side. It gets a big dunk 50 there, and it's going to be Cass down below. Floater in and floater good with only 18 seconds left to go, and Cass again stepping up late game for BPC.
Wow, Knock and Morvu were right there in Cass's face, and yet somehow the substitute finds a way to put the Barons up late in Game 6 regulation. We might be seeing a Game 7 OT. Antics off the ceiling could secure it, but is denied by Knock. Op Bomb finds an outlet pass. Knock is waiting, but can't make an immediate play on the ball. So the 0-second play actually gets pretty deep into Brewton-Parker territory before Antics shuts it down. Knock pivoting is beaten by Antics, and that should secure Game 7. Antics just has to wait on it. Yes, we are going to Game 7 in prime time on Tuesday Night Lights.
Wouldn't be prime time without a Game 7.
Nope.
Like you said, this is going to be a very tightly contested game, and it's been, what now, 4 straight 1-goal contests between these two, and now heading into a Game 7. I'm feeling that we got some cinema cooking up here.
6 straight 1-goal contests, actually, and 5 of those 6 games have been 2-1 score lines. I don't know why that is. It's just a composed game, really, from both sides. It doesn't get out of hand. Defensively, both teams are extremely strong, and you have to get creative if you're going to score on the field tonight. Fortunately, though, we've got 6 players that are up for the task, and they have brought us to one single game to determine who takes the primetime TNL2 match between Michigan State and Brewton-Parker College. Away we go, Somber. It's Sovereign Heights, but it is still Game 7.
Champions Field vibes on Sovereign Nights, because it's Tuesday Night Lights. We don't need no tradition of a Champions Field. We make our own tradition here. Like you said, going to be needing to see a lot of creativity out of these players. And like we've seen all series long, no doubt we're going to see some absolutely crazy goals and another close contest between these two, as they have been trading blows for 6 straight games. And this is do or die. This is your golden game here. This is the series on the line. Fortune and fame for the winner. And for the loser, you just have to put a loss next to your name on the overall record for Tuesday Night Lights and try to get the run back and get that regain. But here in the opening 45 seconds, it's been both teams just kind of playing some boomer ball and ping-ponging this one back and forth. It is going to be a tough task for either side to break the stonewall defense that these guys are sure to put up.
talk about those records. Brewton-Parker came into this series as the second winningest team on any Night Lights show match all time. And that's largely due to their performance in my Monday Night Lights tournaments that I held over the summer, as they made it to a grand finals, I believe twice. But still, it's wins on my stream. Brewton-Parker know how to come out of series victorious, but Michigan State are giving them a run for their money, and they'll be scoring first the minute 20 into Game 7.
That was a beautiful reset by Morvo. Again, it's just they have stepped up since that Game 4 and have been kind of the highlight player. Again, it's always the talk of Op Bomb and their pop-off ability, their ability to be a spark on offense, but it has really just been the Morvo show over here. They have been making plays as a playmaker, as a defender, as a striker. They've been doing it all for Michigan State, and right there, they were able to set up an opening goal off a beautiful reset to bait in the defense and just make it too easy for their teammates. As they might get another one here, it's gonna be too soft, and a clear out by Milk. Knock, last man back. A little bit of a precarious situation here as Milk able to get it back over to Antics, but Antics just a touch too far up, not able to make that shot on the follow through. Now, after 2 minutes elapsed, still 1-0 Michigan State. BPC had their counter, but just a bit off target.
Now a chance for Michigan State to make it 2. Op Bomb just elects to buy time for his teammates to establish control, but that pressure lies on Knock's second man challenge, and he is successful. Can't grab the corner 100, but stays on the ball and is causing all kinds of havoc on the BPC goal line. So Antics, low on boost, has to make a quick play there at the crossbar, but Cass intercepts the pass mid and sets up Antics for a shot low, and it's stopped by Morvu. The rebound denied by Op Bomb. What a defensive stop by the Spartans.
The squishy save coming out in the clutch here for Op Bomb and Michigan State, but pressure continues to build here for BPC. Another big 50 off the ceiling. Morvo able to get it out to the midfield, and hopefully their teammates can regain and recoup some positioning here. A big long clear downfield. Morvo camping down to that BPC half, able to collect, but Milk would have forced that one into the corner and then back up to the ceiling, play with a little bit of possession. Big 50 comes out by Op Bomb. Morvo down to Op Bomb, who is looking for the demo, not the pass. It's going to turn into a counter now for Cass and BPC. Save out by Knox. Antics now takes the skies for the solo play opportunity. Ceiling reset in their back pocket, puts it off the backboard. Demo comes through, but Op Bomb, great awareness to launch that one downfield and onto the BPC half and let their teammates go to work. Shot sniped from the midfield, rebound by Morvo, gonna be good. And Michigan State quick on the attack to get the goal number 2.
That's so clean. I mean, Cass realizes that's going off the post a bit too late, and so just has to watch as it's an easy cleanup for Michigan State. 2-0, and Brewton-Parker have 100 seconds to stage a comeback in Game 7 for the ages, but this series, is in full Sparty control, very close to a third, but now the trap has been sprung. Antics out with Milk in tow, set up for a shot. He goes light with it, and had Cass up front clearing a lane, but Antics couldn't get back up for the follow-up, so Brewton-Parker fall back for now. Well, their second attempt is quick, just a bit too high.
I'm loving the creativity we're seeing from BPC and these little flashes of the hand plays where you think it's going to be a solo play, but they have a teammate waiting right behind, as that was almost Milk to go ahead and get goal number 1 off a solo play. Cass able to move around in the air long enough to keep this one on the orange half for the time being. Milk to receive. They're able to get a flip reset and a ground pitch down below. Op Bomb to clear out towards the mid, but not able to get past that stripe. Antics wanted to jump early for it. Everyone on BPC a bit jumbled up. Antics able to at least make a force play there from Op Bomb, and down below Op Bomb with the flick. Op Bomb goes high, and Milk own goals. No!
Very much forced, but is more than likely going to seal the deal for Michigan State on Tuesday Night Lights. Brewton-Parker tried everything they could out in front of Michigan State's net, and the Spartans stopped everything. 3-0 with 33 seconds left to go, and this series might be done and dusted if Brewton-Parker don't have any magic up their sleeves.
Yeah, BPC are going to need a lot of magic, and starts with a solo play here out of the corner by Cass. They're able to bring that one back down to the ground. Milk on the pre-jump, but not enough heat behind that ball off the bounce for them to meet it. And as time winds down, It is going to be Michigan State in their first dominating game of this series. The first dominating game out of either of these teams this series. Michigan State takes a 3-0 win over BPC. And I mean, yeah, this is just what Michigan State did. They credit to the own goal, but that was just a great force play by Opbomb and Morvo, able to get things done on both sides of the pitch to make this Michigan State team a complete, well-rounded roster and take this thing the distance against BPC.
That was a lot of fun. Very high-level Rocket League, showing us what the top side of Collegiate RL is going to look like this season. But I'm going to ask Opbomb if any of them want to pop in for a short interview here, as we've got 10 minutes before Kennesaw State and Oklahoma are set to kick off. So, I mean, Somber, feel free to keep breaking down that set. I'm going to see if we can't nab ourselves an interview.
Yeah, I think first things first I want to start that breakdown with is I know Q somewhere has a little radar going off in his head that he knows Michigan State just won a big game, and he had a sudden rush of happiness throughout him. So GG's and congratulations to Michigan State taking that game and in such convincing fashion. I think it really was just they were able to adapt along throughout the way. As BPC changed their game style, they were able to adapt well and keep those games close enough and put yourself in the lead at the right time. I will also say that series can also very easily go over to BBC. Very clearly two different plays across game 6 and game 7 that you could see as turning points for BPC that they just did not connect. So Rocket League is a game of inches sometimes, and it's a game of one play. And if that one play doesn't connect, we turn these conversations into ifs and buts. But the reality at the end of the day is Michigan State took this and they were able to battle through against what is still a very talented BPC roster, even with their sub in for Manny. So I'd be interested to see what a run back looks like between these two teams if we do see Manny on the roster.
I'm sure there is an SCL versus Great Lakes Tuesday Night Lights rivalry night with this matchup being rerun in the future. It's not going to be next week's SCL versus Great Lakes, but sometime down the road, I think I can almost guarantee you that this matchup is going to be rerun, because that was phenomenal. And I also have to shout out, not making excuses for Cass and Brewton-Parker in that series, but apparently the reason Cass was Calm Turtle 131 is because they were playing at a friend's house because the school closed down thanks to the snow situation in the southeast today. And so he was playing on an Xbox controller when he's a PS4 main. So a lot of interesting developments in that set. But Michigan State, they certainly earned the win. I'm not sure we're going to get an interview here. Opbomb has not responded to me, and we do have to go to a break soon, Somber. So I think we're just got to be content with the high-quality RL we got to watch.
Yeah, I guess we'll take the game 7 from Michigan State. We don't need an interview from them. They put it out all on the field and probably want to go ahead and wrap up their night, as it's probably cold and they were all tired after having to go to the distance against BPC. So I guess at the end of it, it's just GG's.
It is GG's, and that sets up our nightcap series for the rest of the evening. Kennesaw State versus Oklahoma. Somber, I know you're a Southeastern kind of bias kind of caster. I know you know a bit of ball, so I have to ask you, do you have a prediction for KSU Oklahoma?
Oh man, I mean I kind of have to just reiterate what Skyline said from the last series. I think Shady just is a huge improvement, and I know the caliber of player that they are, and I got to see them late season when they came in for Buds and how they were able to turn that team around. So them with a player like Dylan, I feel like you could throw any third, but having Joel there makes it even better. I think that it's going to be Kennesaw. I don't want to say in a sweep. I think that we're going to go 5. I think that it's going to be Kennesaw in 5.
That is a respectable prediction, but the answer to that prediction will be coming up after a short break. Going to play some ads in the meantime as well, but stick around just a little longer as the final best of 7 of Tuesday Night Lights 2 will happen after this short break.